J Smooth in the booth, Burton in the cut. Boy set up bright like we going up. Bags in the air, hear the crowd go nuts. Every toss, every clutch, we breaking it all up. From backyard games to the bright main stage, we talk legends, upstarts, every rank, every age. From that perfect slide to a roll so mean, we got champs, dark horses, whole pit on screen. Line them up, 4 bags, 1 shot, hit the hole, hit the block, fill the room, go hide. Every guest drop gems when the mics get live. We dig deep on the dream and the grind inside. It's smooth take, big plays, big stakes from the tailgate, chalk to the pro lane breaks. Every drop, every block, every call, every hot take. They smooth burps and grinds, we don't pump fake. Breaking down the boards while the scene elevates. If you love this game, then you came to the spot, turn it up, lean in. Welcome to Smooth Take Party.
What's up? I love it. What's going on, everybody? This is Jay Smooth, and that is
Burton Grimes.
And this is another episode of Smooth Takes Podcast. Welcome back, Burton.
Man, it's been a while. Basketball season had us both busy.
Oh, man, refereeing and you commentating, man. It's time for us to sit down and get back to Smooth Takes, baby.
Absolutely. But I do want to give a shout out to my team making the Final Four, University of Illinois, baby.
University of Illinois made it Final Four. And did you see that game with UConn and Duke, man?
Ooh, that was a shot, wasn't it?
That was a shot, man. All you do is hold the ball. Duke, with the boozer, brother, he just hold the ball, get fouled, go to the free throw line, but he got sped up. You know how that goes.
That's March Madness. That's what it's all about right there.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So what's going on, Burton?
Man, not a whole lot. Actually, with basketball, I didn't even get to run too many regionals January, February. So the people in my area ain't got a whole lot of opportunity to get out there and play locally. So I think I just scheduled 4 or 5 weekend full regionals.
Nice.
And of course, what everybody's always trying to get, singles and doubles. So we're alternating singles and doubles every Monday night. And we're going to use the pole barn, man. I bought the house. I got the pole barn. It's time to start using it.
Time to start using. I got to come out, man. I can't wait to check it out.
Anytime.
Got to come out. Yeah, got to come
You're
out
welcome
there.
anytime, man.
So you got the pool barn actually starting up the actual regionals there. That's big time, man. That's big time. I'm happy for you.
The last 2 weekends on Sunday, we've had people get together just randomly, like last minute. Turtle came up. Well, actually, for yesterday, it was kind of Turtle's fault. He just texted like, "Hey, what's your address? We're coming up." So I was like, "All right, well, I had some things I was gonna do around the house, but it's a 2-hour drive for him. If he's gonna come over, I'll put off what I'm doing." So
nice.
Put off what I was doing. He showed up, and Woody and Ashley showed up, and then my cousin showed up, and of course Logan and Kirsten's out here. It turned into 5-man blind draws, and we just had a blast. Had the March Madness on the TV out in the pole barn, and listening to music, and grandbaby driving her little tricycle around all the boards, and
that's awesome.
We're okay with it because when you go to a big event, there's all kinds of distractions. So if you can throw with a 3-year-old driving their tricycle between the boards, I don't think too many other things are going to distract you.
It's just so awesome that you can do this right there in your backyard, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's just amazing, man. It's super amazing. We got Matt Ledbetter. What's going on, Mr. High Roller? We got Anthony Russell in the chat also. What's going on, Anthony, man? Yeah, man, we back. We back. And we got a special guest coming on today. Burton, man, go ahead and, talk about this.
That's the original Lucky's, Charlie Kase. He was, when I first got involved in cornhole, my first big time tournament was the ACO Worlds in Bradenton, Florida. That's the first. I'd been to one regional and then Worlds. I was literally the lowest strength person there. At that time, you only needed like 16 points because of COVID and all that. So they hadn't transitioned yet. So he's the first ACL bag I threw. And I've kind of become friends with him and followed him. And I think I've owned every series of bag he has that's out there in the pole barn. And still one of my favorites, the Showtime, still one of my favorite bags to this day. But Charlie Kase out of Kentucky down there. And I'd say everybody knows who he is. If you've been in cornhole for more than 6 months, I'm pretty sure you know who Charlie is. And we're gonna learn about his journey through cornhole.
That's awesome.
bag maker to ACO pro to why he sold and got out of the bag making business.
Yeah.
Things like
Nice.
that. So
Okay.
give
Nice.
people a good
Nice.
chance to understand more about what the bag makers go through.
Yeah. Most
you know,
definitely.
and
Yeah.
the things they have to look at on prices and sponsorships or anything like that. So maybe give other people better understanding outside of their piece of the pie there, to
Nice. Nice.
just help cornhole.
Yep, cornhole. So with that said, we're gonna bring on Mr. Lucky Charlie Kase. Welcome to the stage, Charlie.
Hey, fellows, how's it going?
Good.
Doing
How are you?
great. Doing great.
Good. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem, no problem. So we get right to it, Charlie. Everybody knows who you are, but give a little brief introduction to who you are.
All right. Well, I started playing, I guess, in 2016, 2017 with the ACO. Shoot, at the time I was already making boards, and so after about a year playing with the ACO, I was like, man, these bags are pretty good. Let's see how I can do this, So had a couple conversations, went and bought a printer, and kind of went from there. We've been doing bags for about 9 years, and my wife thought I was crazy. Like, why are we buying this printer? We don't need a printer. So I'm going to try something, Back then, things were a lot harder. You didn't have all the information on the internet like you do now, and so we kind of modeled it. Took us a little while to get a bag that was worth throwing, honestly, between the fabric and the pellets, getting the right pellets and trying to figure that combination out. But we finally got bags out in 17, 18, and kind of went from there. Like Burton said, the show times are one of our early bags, but they're still popular with the small group of people, because the way they play. And our Valor's another bag that was one of our original bags that still hangs around. We have several pros that still throw those every week, And I guess I've been a pro now for 7 or 8 whatever that is, and just been playing, man. I still enjoy the game, this step was a hard step, but we thought it was a good time to do it.
What got you into cornhole?
Well, like most people, like just backyard playing at first. And we had Tony Austria. He was our CEO here in Owensboro and never heard of the ACO. And he said, hey, this going to have a Worlds here in Owensboro this year. And we're like, what's that mean? So we went to a couple majors just to get our feet wet. And, just like, wow, this is pretty cool. We thought we were good. Everybody thinks they're good until they play their first tournament. I think my first singles game was against Eric Zockline. So I found out really fast what it's like to play in the ACO against the top of the top. I didn't know who he was when he first started, but it didn't take me long to figure it out. One of the best. But also, we got a good feel right off the bat for the family atmosphere of the ACO. I say Eric, and he's one of the best. He's just a great guy, great player, and we kind of fell in love right off the bat with the whole atmosphere and the competitive nature of it.
Nice. So Charlie, how'd you come up with that name, Lucky? Was it something that you had always wanted to name a company or a bag company, or is it just something that came about with speaking to other people about it?
Well, it's actually my middle name, and it's a family name. Yeah, it's a family name.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's Charles Kase Lucky Jr. And most people know my dad as Lucky. Growing up, like people called him Lucky, and he was named after his uncle. So so that was an important part. And we're going to maintain that name. We're going to use it for apparel and doing our tournaments and stuff like that. Like I said, we didn't sell the brand; we just sold the bag lines. But yeah, that was a big thing for us, and that's kind of what made it hard to make this decision. One of the things that made it really hard was because, been pretty proud of what we did with it, and what the name, being a family name, it means a lot to you. You know, everything that name is on, just a little bit extra. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had no idea that was your name.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. I don't know how I never really sat and thought about how you got the name. And
Yeah.
you could have gave me 100 guesses, and that would not have made it at all. Yeah, I remember when I first got into it, you were kind of having a little back and forth with the other Lucky about
Yes.
the name and stuff, but you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
came to some
Yeah.
kind of mutual agreement on that. And
Well, I didn't know Lucky Bags existed. You know, being in New Orleans, and we started off. They were just a club, not an actual bag maker. So we were the original, and so then once they became the ACL, I just decided to switch it to Lucky's and from Lucky Bags. Still confusing, you know, unfortunately. But the fact that we're in two different leagues helped a lot of that, you know. But there was still some confusion. I get a lot of emails that aren't really meant for me. Like I say, most of them are good, but not really. But anyway,
can't please everyone.
Yeah. So some of the hate mail I get is not really intended for me.
Okay.
Do you forward it on, or you just
I
only
try
send them the
to
good
to
stuff?
send them in the right direction. I tell them, you know, you got the wrong guy. But yeah, that was a little bit confusing. And actually, you mentioned the Bradenton Worlds. That's when we changed. That was our kind of our coming out party at that major, at that Worlds. I mean, we used that as a platform to launch Lucky's from Lucky Bags and change it over right then and there. We had and the ACO kind of helped us out with that a little bit, Frank, because we make a bag for the ACO called Lucky's, and that was the name that Frank came up with, and he and I asked his permission to use it, and he said, oh, of course, you know, it's your name, so use it, you know. So, but that's how that all came about.
I used to have a really old set of your bags. Somebody told me they were the first ones you made. They were yellow and they had a bumblebee on it. And unfortunately, one of them busted. I can't remember what the name of it was. But they're like, where did you get those? I was like, I just seen somebody that was selling bags. Like, they're trying to get rid of their inventory. They wanted $10. And I was like, $10 for a set of bags? Okay. You know, I wish I could remember what it was or still had.
I'm sure it was the wrong company. They busted it.
No, I mean, when I say this was probably one of the first sets of bags you ever made. So, I mean,
yeah.
People that know me know I like to collect the prototypes. So,
yeah.
No, Wally, it wasn't Showtime.
It's Showtime's Wally.
Yeah. I'll figure it out and I'll let you know because now the wheels are going to turn.
Yeah, I think that could be Wally. What was the logo they used to have for the boards? The Wally's brother made his logo. What was his? His backyard. He made boards. I'm drawing a blank, but Wally's right. I bet it was Showtime with the B on it.
It wasn't like his backyard ENT.
Yeah, backyard ENT. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Thank you, Wally. That's it.
Yeah.
So I bet it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So
oh wow, that's awesome.
I got them from Willie Webb. That's who I ended up getting them from.
Yeah.
So they were. I mean, this guy's got storage units with bags in it. He's got
he has plenty of bags.
Good old Willie.
Richard Phillip Jones said that he thought he was good until Charlie kicked my butt last weekend. RBJ.
We had a good seniors match. It went my way this time.
And see, it's hard to believe some of these guys that are seniors, like Rich Jones, Charlie. I don't think you guys look like you should be seniors.
Well, I appreciate it. I just turned 55 in last August.
Oh wow! Wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. I'm 0 for 2 on what I would have guessed. You think you know a guy, you know?
Yeah. Until you ask the questions, right, Bernie?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we was actually talking behind the scenes about your transition that you have made recently. So do you really want to get into that and kind of talk about, what, you decided to do with Lucky Brand, and you said you're going to be keeping the apparel and boards. But as far as bags, can you explain to the people what's going to be going on in the future?
Yeah. So we just decided with all the amount of teams and in the ACO that it was just getting to be too much of a hobby type atmosphere instead of a business type atmosphere. And we were fortunate enough to find Brothers Bag Company that was interested in taking all of our equipment, and our, most importantly to me, is our bag lines. So 7 of our bag lines will be continued on with them. So it'll be the exact same everything, using our automated machine to be exact same template, exact same feel, exact same fabric, exact same names. It'll be his logo on it instead of mine. So we look forward to seeing those bags continue, and for all those people that use them now, still be able to use them. So that was nice. That was important that we could come up with some kind of arrangement that worked good for Phil and Sheila and also for us. It's going to be nice to work with them and try to help that transition and help all of our players and people that throw our bags. They can still throw them. That's what's going to be nice about that.
That's awesome.
So, like in the background, when we were doing our tests and stuff, we kind of got off the started talking. The way you broke it down that you came to that decision, I think that's a good piece of information for the players to know what all you guys are thinking as bag makers all the time on, because it's a business.
Yes.
And I mean, I know, like you said, you just retired. You were working for Toyota, wasn't it? For
yes.
When they put wheels on dinosaurs or something like that when you started. You made Fred Flintstone's first car is what it was.
Yeah. Ain't that old? Come
on. But it's a business, but it's not a business that feeds the family. It's a business of more out of love for the game than anything.
Correct.
So just if you don't mind, kind of explain everybody, because I love the way you broke it down with the numbers and everything, like how you came to the decision that now is the time.
Yeah. Well, and I think if you talk to any bag maker, they're pretty open about, the 69 bag companies in the ACO. And I looked it up today. We got about 4,150 players, 4,150 players. And saw about 2,100 of those players have over 100 points. So if you think 2,100 players divided by, 69 bag companies, that's 30 people, per bag company. And then once you figure out, how many hundreds of people are sponsored in some way by a bag company, if it's just free bags, just apparel. So, what's your market really look like? And it's so regionalized, you have pockets of, you have to get that pocket first, you got to expand out and get people to sell your bags. And as used to be, it was easier, you could reach out. I could reach across the country and I could, hey, Burton, I need somebody in Illinois to sell some bags, and you did, and you had for years. I've reached out to Rodney Schreiber in Wisconsin. He sold bags for me up there, and just all over. And it's just so much harder to do that now. You have bag companies all across the country, from Average Joe up in New York to out in California. You have several out there, the West Roebuck and them guys, and there's just so many. Of course, the central part of the United States, right through here. In Kentucky alone, we've got myself, did have myself, and then Blueprint and Big Daddy. We're all just 2 hours apart from each other. And you got CBC,
the Gammons too now.
Yeah, and the Gammons too. Yeah, and then CBC is another 2 hours. So within a 3-hour radius, 4 bag companies. And and like I said, I just retired last year, and I really wanted to push this harder and work it harder, but it just, I don't know, the writing didn't seem to be the direction I wanted to go, and it took us several months of thought and, talking to the wife, and she made it clear it was my decision. She was not going there, but it was tough, but in the end, I think we made the right decision. we just trying to move on to something different and maybe be on the other side and help. I'd like to be able to help out, other bag companies actually, some shape or form.
Yeah.
So you got rid of all your equipment. Did you get rid of the first printer, or did you let the wife keep that?
Well, that printer actually got retired a couple years ago, but that thing was wore out. And our big printer, our sewing machine, fill machine, it's all gone. So
see, wow. I always envision, like, for some reason, I always envision like weekend bag making parties for Charlie and the wife, and like the family, they're all in the garage just sewing up bags, listening to music. And
well, fun fact, I can't sew, never have sewn. So my mom was my biggest sewer for years. And then I had another lady I picked up and sewed when we got really busy. She helped us out. But my mom was sewed thousands of bags. Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
So about 3 years ago, we went out and bought the automated machine. I don't think it really made her too happy, but it was trying to, just go to the next level. And, it's important to put the best product out there. And that's, when you're sewing it by hand, you can make a good product. But those automated machines, you can't beat the speed and the accuracy and the strength.
Well, just make you some mini bags and let
her sell those. She does.
Sell those. Yeah.
We sell a bunch of those bags and boards. You can go to my Facebook page and see all kinds of. She still sews those. She still sews those for us by hand. Yeah.
Yeah. So Charlie, since you are, getting away from, having your own bag company, you're still gonna have some bags, but now you can focus on playing. So, like, do you have any goals now? Since you're gonna have some more free time to play, kind of focus more on playing seniors and singles and things like that. Do you have any goals for this season?
I haven't really thought about that. That's a good question. I'm gonna be curious to see how it feels. We did our last booth in Peoria just past weekend, and that was a lot of fun. We sold a bunch of apparel. So now hopefully, we won't be in competition and people won't see us as that, so they can come and buy our gear and stuff. But so this weekend was an interesting transition. A lot of people are asking me why, like we're talking about here tonight. But going into next year, it's going to be interesting to see what that feels like to go to a major, and just go play. Not talking about bags and trying to, sell people or, even meet new people necessarily for that reason. I'll be able to just be me playing and that's it. So it'll be interesting to see, but I haven't really set any goals. I'm hoping to be able to play more and then we'll see how that goes. But, we got one granddaughter is 2 years old and got another one on the way in July. And I can't wait to spend more time with them. That's going to be, that's what we're looking forward to doing, and that was part of this decision as well from the family aspect of it. We kind of talked about the business aspect, but from the family aspect of it, that was also the thing, we just be able to do some other stuff. My wife sacrificed for years because I was traveling and playing, coming home from work and working, so now it's going to be our time to see what it's like, maybe with not as much cornhole in our life.
Right.
Well, hopefully she knows that you've washed a lot during cornhole, so you can start doing the laundry now.
Burton, stop. She might be listening.
I seen her in the comments earlier. Make sure everybody knew it was Kase with a K. So
yes, I seen it. Yeah.
What have you seen? Because you've been in cornhole, you essentially sound like 9-10 years.
Yes.
What is the biggest difference between when you started and now? What do you see?
The competition's crazy. The young players especially, and with that is the bags. With the carpet, changes everything. And what people can do with the bags. The rollover shot. If you rolled the bag over 10 years ago, it was an accident. You weren't. It just hit the wrong way and it rolled.
And you're probably mad about it.
Yeah, but now the rolls and the cuts, and
Yeah.
you know, just the accuracy of those shots, you know, and airmail and just everything, you know, it just the talent level. You go to a major and this weekend, you know, I finished 33rd and I had a 10.04 PPR, you know.
Wow.
So, you know, it's just, you know, depending on the matchup you get, it's just crazy, you know. And of course, we didn't keep stats back then, you know, so who knows, you know, maybe we were still all throwing those numbers and just didn't realize it, but I don't think so.
Right.
I think
I had said to Frank up at the Beloit Major, because they had me go up and stream and commentate it, and my comment to him was 10 is the new 9. He goes, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Used to, if you threw in the 9s, you'd finish pretty high in a tournament. Now, if you don't finish in the 10s, you're not finishing high." I go back and look at the stats at Beloit and singles.
Yeah.
How many people are on and score holy is the first page? 25, 32, something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
The whole front page was throwing 10 point something or higher. With the winner was at like a 10.73 or something like ridiculous like that. And it's like, man, I'm glad I came to this side of the table because that side's not going to get it for me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's been a big part just from when I started. I remember the first. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and then, you know, that from the player side, I see that, and then from the bag side of it, you know, the business side of it, you know, so many things have changed, you know, as well. You know, like I said, we had just a few bag companies back in the day, and now we got 69, and that's just not a number that, you know, that's going to be sustainable, you know, in that format that's kind of been created. You know, it just puts a lot of stress on all the bad companies. So that's been a huge change over the last couple of years. It seems like kind of post-COVID, you know, there was this big jump in cornhole, and we all seen how popular it got. You know, and
I mean, really is a social distance game because if you're not throwing, you get out of the box. For COVID, that created that space they wanted everybody to have.
Well, and everybody was playing at home, playing those live stream games and stuff. So
virtual
you know, the
games.
bag, So the bag making game just got crazy, you know, and I know the ACL had an issue with that, and they cut back to about 30 teams now or something like that, and I think the ACL is going to have to do something similar to that at some point. You know, find that number, figure out, you know, how many bad companies can we sustain, and then figure out how do you do that? What's the best way of, you know, picking those teams or eliminating, you know, and you hate to be negative about it, but, you know, if you know, what quality of bag are you putting out there? Are you doing it for a hobby? Are you doing it for a business? You know, all those things. And it's a tough decision because, you know, free market, you know, everybody wants that free market, and I'm a big fan of that too. But at some point, if, you know, I think what the ACL did, talking to some of their bag makers, it's really helped them all out, and that just helps the whole game. It not just helps the bag makers, but also helps the players, you know, and then in turn that helps the ACL. You know, you know, in the ACO, you know, you have all these bag companies, and you're paying the fee to the ACO, plus you're sponsoring these players, you know, and then you're such a limited group of players that you can actually sell to. You know, as a bag maker, I know a lot of us felt like we're kind of stuck in the middle where we're paying the players and we're paying the ACO. You know, it's like it's hard to get that rate of return that you need to see to make at least a small business out of it. You know, maybe something a little bit more in the hobby. I don't think anybody expects in the ACL maybe to make a living off of it, you know.
Well, when I did it, I just wanted to pay for itself, and I went. I mean, I was in the red all 3 years, and I have a business degree, and you know, I went a year longer than what anybody with business degree would say you're taught to do.
Yeah,
and I did it just out of love of the game and love of making the bags and stuff. And I want to do it another year, and my wife's like, "I'll let you, but you know, remember all this stuff you said?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I need to just stop." And you know, but I think it's, you know, 60. What would you say it was? 69 bag companies.
I think that's where it's at.
I was looking at the list, and there's easily 10 to 20 that I've never heard of. I've never seen their bag, so it's like I feel like attrition will naturally get rid of, a third of them because, I haven't seen any marketing or anything. So,
And I think that the intent for the ACO is to try to eliminate those smaller bag companies that aren't really involved. And, I know Frank has mentioned that in the past, to us as he's trying to make it harder for those that aren't really involved, that are just selling a bag, not really a part of it. So, but like I say, there's going to be some growing pains. There's just going to be some, it's that's not going to be an easy thing to do. And, step on, obviously somebody's going to be upset about it, how it's done, So I think it just needs to be communicated. Communication is everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to communicate, I think, to everybody. I think the ones left standing will benefit from it,
Yeah. So Charlie, as far as sponsored players, would they still be under the Lucky brand, or would they be moving over to Brothers Bags?
They'll be moving over to Brothers. Yes.
Okay.
Some of them. I mean, it's going to be up to them, obviously, but I think that's the intent. The hope that they will, continue throwing those bags. And I'm sure there'll be some movement, but I think a lot of them are looking forward to, to doing it. The familiarity with the bags, and then Brothers has some new bags too that they've never thrown that they like to try out, and they've already been trying them out, and getting the feel for them, and we'll just see how it goes. But hopefully most of them will carry over to Brothers. Nice. We got some guys with us for a long time, so be interesting to see. I'm hoping it'll be a smooth transition, because that was one of the things that was weighing on me when making this decision was those players. We it's like family, like I say. Like TJ Miller had been with me forever. He was the first player to come on board, and he liked his showtimes, but he loves the Valors, and he still throws them.
You're his godfather, aren't you? So, I just spend no time with him.
Yeah, and so it was important to me to get those guys an option. That they have some place to go throw. Those bags are still going to exist, and I don't think it'll be any reason why they won't. I don't believe to go that direction.
Nice.
Yeah, so, we talked about a little bit, Brothers Bags, and Phil and Sheila. They really are good people. They're kind of throw it out there. I didn't go to Peoria this weekend. My wife went up there with all the a bunch of people from here, and really it was a wives thing because if you know who Yonko is, or John Howerton, Kathy, his wife, was going. She's like, I want all my friends to go at our blind draw, and then Kiera Willis wanted to, and my wife wanted to, but neither one of them would pull the trigger to do it. And we're driving back. I told my wife, I was like, you're going, like, just go. And so she went up there. But we're talking about Phil and Sheila being great people. This is a jersey they made for my gonna be 3-year-old granddaughter. That this thing is like it's tiny too. But
bombshell.
Bombshell.
Anybody needs jerseys for their little ones. This is a 2T. So there's apparel out there. I'm sure Charlie can have the stuff made too.
Yeah.
So
they do a lot geared towards the women. They have the bombshell there. So that's important to Sheila to have, a women's line so that, women can have their own style. And I get that,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Especially like leggings, like I have leggings, and my big thing was it has to have pockets.
Yeah.
I feel
I don't want to see that, Burton. I don't want to see you in leggings.
Come to one of my tournaments one time. I may have to break out the Lambert's outfit. Ask who was there? Shannon was there. Ask Shannon about it.
Okay.
She was like, "What the hell is that?" We went to Lambert's, me and the wife, and I was looking. I was like, I think I want to buy. It was like a cutoff shirt, a Lambert shirt. I was like, I think I want to buy this and wear it at a tournament. And she's like, you won't do it. I go, yeah, I will. I go, what about these shorts? And they're short shorts that say like hot buns on the back of it. She's like, only if you wear them at a tournament. So we're playing co-eds. I figured co-eds was the best place to do it. My wife didn't even know I had it on. And, we're doing down and back, and we're like, you guys ready to start? You guys start. Like, okay. So they're picking up the bags. As soon as I take my T-shirt off, my athletic pants off, and she looks up. She's like, what the hell just happened? Like, everybody's like, what is going on right now? Like, hey, I got to get comfortable to throw it through so many people off. Like, I think it was everybody's worst game of the day was when that first happened. Like, what is going on? And I'm sure somebody has a picture somewhere.
That's awesome.
That's a
I
visual
don't have
image.
a picture. May have to, put it in ChatGPT or something, have it say Lucky's across it and post it on,
Oh, gee.
on Facebook and stuff for him.
I appreciate that. But we were actually selling some of our women's shorts that we had left this weekend, and I offered a couple of guys to give them to them for free if they'd wear them, but no takers.
Oh, you know my address. I'll wear them. I'll laugh at myself just as quick, if not quicker, than I laugh at somebody else. So I'm just lucky. When I was a kid, they didn't have camera phones, so I can still deny a lot of stuff. So
yeah. So Charlie, for not the up and coming bag makers, but the ones that kind of been around for a while, is there some kind of some advice you can be able to give to them? Because I know a lot of you say it's over 69 bag companies, and it's a lot of them around. It's been around for a long time. Say, for instance, like CBCs, the high rollers, people like that have been in the game and ACL for a while. It's some advice you can give them because you've been in the game, you've been successful, and they probably are feeling the same kind of stress. Like there's a lot going on, with all these bag companies. I can't get a lot of players because it's so saturated, right? Is there any kind of advice you can give them?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, we talk a lot, the bag companies. We have, group chat, few of us talk and stuff, and where it used to be, everything was close to your best. People didn't share a lot of information. Yeah. I think nowadays that's changed, where everybody's pretty honest with how they're doing, and I think for everybody, it's just going to be a case by case basis. Really, you have to decide, are you in this for the long haul? Like Burton talked about losing money for 3 years, is that what you want? How many times can you do that? And everybody's situation is different. Some people have outside money that they're able to use, that's great if you do. We weren't in that situation. That's why we always got sponsors. Our jerseys always had sponsors on them, so I think everybody just has to, find that spot, and figure it out. Because the other thing was Medford next year, Medford going to be, for the Worlds, and everybody's concerned, what's next year look like, you hear a lot of them saying, well, I'm not going to play a bunch of majors. I ain't going to the World, so why travel around and play? So the natural concern is, are they going to be buying bags? If people aren't playing, what's that mean for bag sales? So, yeah, I think everybody's just going to have to, look at their own unique situation, whether it's your overhead or, however you think you can sell bags, and we all try to sell to non-ACL players, right? Your backyard players, but
right.
They're not, and most of those backyard players, when they get an opportunity to throw our types of bags, they love them, but when they first hear the price tag, they're like, what? I can go to Walmart and buy for $60 and get all 8 of them. Yeah, you can, but throw these for a little bit. Yeah. But getting bag in hand is the key, when you can actually get somebody to actually pick up that bag and throw it and compare it, it's like driving a nice sports car to driving a Pinto. You understand the difference, like, oh my goodness. Now I know why it's costing so much, and you can explain to them what the options are and stuff. But like I say, as far as advice goes, it's really going to be case by case. I've heard a lot of people, were trying to make that decision, as we're coming up to the end of the year, and you got the tailgaters coming up, and the cost of that, and then the new costs has gone up for next year for the bag make companies. They want to stay in. They want to stay in. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see some more drop out. I know. So I just, it's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. For any of you guys out there that knew what a Pinto was, don't tell anybody. You're going to show your age. All right. So 2-part to this question here, Charlie. That's cornhole. You get to pick one thing that changes and everybody has to abide by it.
Ooh.
And one thing that can never change. That's currently going cornhole.
Just in general?
Yeah, just for the sport of cornhole. What do you think should change and be a sport or a rule or something all the time? And what do they have going right now that you say that's got to stay forever? They can never change that.
Wow. Dang, Bert, that's enough. Dang. Put me on the spot. One thing I'd like to see is those young kids quit playing in our singles. Wow. So one thing that could.
I remember the first time I seen a roll bag, I was playing Sammy Van Sickle and Tupelo. And I threw a blocker because I was thought, hey, throw a blocker first, and then play off what they do. And he rolled the bag over, and I was like, okay, maybe that was an accident. So I threw again, trying to push through, and I hit my bag, but it didn't go, That's probably the best shot I made that day, and it's still a bad shot. And then he rolled over again, and I stopped, and I turned and looked at people next to me. I go, how the hell am I supposed to compete with that? Like, what do you do? Somebody tell me what you do with that.
Yeah.
And I've not figured it out since.
So one thing I wouldn't mind to see change is actually bag specs. I think because the game has gotten so not easy ain't the right word, but like we talked about the PPRs going up, like this weekend, the boards were playing pretty good. They weren't sticky. They were sliding. And it's just about running backs. And that's fine. I mean, you're really showing your talent. But if you could open up the specs of the bag a little bit, to maybe make the game harder in some aspect, I think, and I've heard on like live streams from the ACL, you see these nobody wants to sit through a 40-50 round match, So how do you make that game more competitive? How do you make it more viewer friendly? That's always going to be the dilemma, right? But not take away from the players that get the skill. So I would like to, I wonder if they could play with the bag, the bag specs, or maybe allow a certain change. I don't know. Maybe if you had, maybe we had 3 styles of one bag, and you had one other bag, get this different style. Just like something
that.
like that.
Like
I like that.
They have their spare ball.
Yeah, I like that.
Just something. I'd like to see something that, just to change it up a little bit, not necessarily make the bag slower or faster, but maybe a little bit bigger, or maybe even allow a not so square shape, I don't know, that they get creative, something like that, it'd be interesting to see, what the scoring would be like, because there's plenty of times I throw a faster bag. Too old to throw a slow bag. So there's plenty of times I had one bag, I could stop and throw that block up there,
Yeah.
So just, I don't know. I could see something like that being a cool thing to try.
I like that, Charlie. Matt put in the comments about having 5 bags. I've heard that before, and I also heard Wally. He was on his podcast saying the distance of the boards could be something they can look at too.
Yeah,
I like both of those. So, what do you think about 5 bags?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it might increase the scoring, right? So you would have shorter games. Is that the theory?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what it is. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Hi, Princess.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, you could mess around with that a little bit. That could be interesting to see.
What if they shrunk the hole, like from 6
to
5 inch?
That might be the easier thing to do, but of course that would make it a whole lot more. It'd be a more expensive change, right? Because all the boards have to change, so that would be. I think it'd be easier to change the bags, but like Chucky says in the comment section, what about a round bag?
Oh wow!
We played around with some stuff that just to see what it would do, but you're really limited with the specs of the bag. You're only going to have so much of a radius on the corners. It's got to be so thick, so square. But yeah, as far as things I don't want to ever see change, man, that's tough. You know, the one thing I wish, and then maybe this is kind of corny or not exactly the same thing, is I just want to see people go back to playing for fun. The game has gotten to be so much about money, and it's not that's not the answer. But what's good though is like Peoria this weekend and most of the majors. I mean, I've accepted that I'm not going to go win. I know that I might go compete, win a few games, do my best, and I'm just happy with that. But I see so much about the money aspect of the game, and I think it's a hobby. I think it's a hobby for 95% of us.
Right.
There's people making money playing, but they're few and far between. Everybody knows who they are. So I like to see that not change. I'm afraid if it goes with much further with all the sponsorship stuff and the money aspect, that the game's going to start dying off because the money is not there. It needs to be, it needs to be a hobby and stay that way, or it's not going to be fun. If you're worried about, just like taking a boat out, going to the lake for the weekend, you're going to spend a bunch of money, and as long as you're having a good time, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So Drew Weeking got a hold of you then, huh? Because I'm pretty sure that's what he's done since he got out of cornhole. Just been on the lake fishing this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
That's
see him
awesome.
at a blind draw one time, and a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I didn't think you even knew what bags was anymore. He's like, I get out once in a while, as long as it's for fun. So it was nice hearing that. Goes along with what you said. So I agree.
amazing.
It's gotten way too serious.
Yeah.
You get too many people that throw their hat on the ground or act a fool because they make a bad shot, and it's like it just shows that it's just you might need to take a step back, remember what it's like, to take a saying from another sport, for love of the game,
For the love of the game. Yeah.
That's what most of us have, and it's gotten away from a lot of people.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
agree with
mean,
that.
I'm as serious as I'm as competitive as anybody,
Right.
and sometimes the more serious I get, the worse I play. I just get tense, I get too emotional, and I've lately been trying to really focus on not taking it so serious, talking a little bit more. If the player wants to talk, and enjoy that moment.
Senior's going to take all weekend if him and Fergie end up playing each other.
Well, that's a good time.
If he wants to talk, I'll talk. Oh boy, it's over now.
Hey, as long as we're at the boards, right?
Well, he'll be slinging water all over you from his bathroom showers or sink baths or whatever it is he's doing in there.
Oh man. Oh man. That's awesome. Yeah, Charlie, I just see another comment from Richard Jones. He was saying one switch out would change the game.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's meaning like we can go switch another bag out. You might have
in the middle of the
a
game.
substitute, substitute bag on the side.
Maybe
Or
the whole
something
set.
like that.
Yeah,
like a whole set you could change. Yeah,
That'd be cool too. I think, say if you're playing a game and you realize that happened. We've all probably been there. I have, where you're playing the game and different set of boards. Like, man, these boards are too fast or too slow.
Right.
And you've already started
in mid-game. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you could call timeout one time and say, I want to switch.
Yeah.
That'd be. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
You'll be able to go in there and say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and change that.
Yeah, maybe bring 3 sets to the boards. You have to have them there. You can't go.
I'll go
Fergie around.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a cool idea. It might make the game a little bit longer if you're switching bags and something, but yeah, it may be something. And that was the other thing. We've heard some talk about rounds and
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not a big fan of that. If you wanted to lower the score, I think that'd be better than making rounds. But I don't like messing with the score. I like keeping it at 21 personally. But I know the game can be hard to watch sometimes if just bags going in hole after hole after hole.
Yeah, I like the strategic game. It's great people can run bags, but I like the strategy of the game where you're putting a blocker up and playing off what they do. I used to always say, like with Drew Weeking, I used to say, watch him. He's playing chess while I was playing checkers. He's throwing this bag, not for your next bag, but for the bag after that. He's 3 bags ahead what he went.
Yeah.
He's going to get you to do something. You don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
players like that just can just process it. That I like watching their games, the strategy of it.
Yeah, I agree.
You look, he threw an 8.76. He had a bad game.
No, he
threw
didn't.
an 8.76, but he had 2.7 DPR. So
Right.
is that a bad game? No.
That's the other thing that, you know, I referenced it earlier, so I'm just as guilty as, but that's the other thing that's changed the game. And maybe not in a good way is the stats, PPR. You know, some people worry about that too much. I like going back when I'm done and looking at it, you know, just to see. I thought I threw pretty good. Well, I'm already out. And like, well, you did, but everybody else is throwing better, you know. You know, sometimes, and sometimes that's the boards. You know, the boards are playing fast. Those PPRs go up.
Yeah,
those bags go in the hole. You know, so.
I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, I could sit here and come up with questions all night long. I'm sure Charlie's wife has some chores for him to do because he ain't got no bags to make now.
That's right.
Burton, did you stop this? I thought we were friends.
We are, but you'll get me back in August at Bags on the Ohio.
Yeah.
My wife will be there. And, well, she'll drop me off, and then she'll take off to visit Owensboro and come back in like 5 hours.
Well,
that's what my wife does now. If I'm going and I'm streaming, commentating to someplace she's never been, she's like, I'm gonna go explore. Well, you don't want to play? Nah, I don't want to give them money that I know I'm going to lose. I'd rather go explore to go to a botanical garden or go to some local diner, you know, something like that. So
she went to Gramps, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
They're what they call cronuts.
Yeah, it's like a cake donut. Yeah.
They're not donuts.
Yeah, it's like a dessert in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my wife loves that place too. It's so good. Yeah. So we will be doing Bags on the Ohio again this year, August 15th. It's gonna be a Saturday. We're looking for a big turnout. Looking for hopefully make a big one next year. We're wanting to make it a 2-day event. We want to try to bring something to Owensboro since Worlds won't be here. You know, everybody loves coming here playing. So I've already talked to the city a little bit about it, and we're wanting to really make it a big deal. You know, I know people love coming, and it's so central located for people. You know,
and I love Owensboro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and it's a cheap place to stay most of the time. You know, and,
right?
You know, relative. You know, it's like Peoria this past weekend. You know, the hotel rooms, the restaurants. It's like, whew. You know, it's just more expensive. You know, I think Owensboro maybe a little bit smaller than some people like, but if you're just there for a night or two, it's not too expensive.
A couple years ago at Worlds, we got an Airbnb that we split with like between 4 families. And I think for a week it cost us, I don't know, $450 a family or something like that for a week to stay there. And one of the families that went, it was just, you know, the dad and the son. His son played, the dad didn't. We kind of got spoiled because, you know, it'd be like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Be like, all right, guys, I'm going to go start dinner.
Yeah.
You know, like, sweet, you know, and then, of course, you know, we get back and now we're all outside playing still, you know, on the sidewalk and getting the neighbors playing and stuff like that. But from what I remember, there was all kinds of Airbnbs in Owensboro.
Yeah, it's growing for sure. I know some of our players have stayed in the last couple of years. On Bob Howe, last couple of years they've stayed in Airbnbs. But now we have that new hotel right across the street. So now you have 3 hotels.
Yeah, the home to suites.
Yeah. So you have 3 hotels right there at the convention center. I mean, location can't beat it.
Yeah.
Close enough that the people who like to maybe partake too much.
I know where he was going.
And still get home safely. Just park the car at the convention center parking lot and look for it a week from now.
Yeah.
So.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, I don't have anything else for Charlie. I don't know, Jay, if you've got anything that came up.
No, I mean, this was a great conversation. And everything I wanted to ask, I asked. And it was great, you know, feedback from you, Charlie. You know, again, nice meeting you finally. Like I said, I've seen you plenty of times in Owensboro and other majors and things like that. But it was great to meet you. You know, glad you got a great success with your, you know, company. You know, you had to sell some. But now it's time for you to go win senior. So Hey.
That ain't easy.
No, it's
When-
not. I mean,
yeah.
seniors is almost like making a final bracket at
Oh
in
yeah.
singles anymore. Like those
Yeah.
Oh
guys
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Damon
they
Dennis and
yeah.
gosh.
They can
It's
throw
easy.
long games on Friday and wear themselves out. So Saturday they're not
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
keep up.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for
Appreciate
coming.
it.
And thanks for
We appreciate you.
giving the other perspective from a bag maker to let people know some of the stuff that that goes through to figure out, you know, how to decide if you're going to go year to year. And, you know,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people think, oh, they make bags, they're making all kinds of money.
Yeah.
They can buy you a
Yeah.
value meal at McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tight margin, you know, but you definitely have to do it for the love of it. You know, I don't think most of us are getting rich off of it. You know, you hope to make some money in the end, but yeah. But I would like to take a chance to, you know, thank my wife and my parents.
Yeah.
They were there from the very beginning. Like I said, my wife kind of just allowed me to take this road and not really thinking that I knew what the hell I was doing, you know. And then my parents were very supportive. And Mom was sewing bags, Dad was filling bags, and you know, so it was kind of a family affair, you know. And then so that made it nice, which you know made it also you know being a family thing, it makes it great, and then makes it harder in the end as well. But you know, like say it's just that time, you know, time to do it.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for all all you've done in cornhole. Personally, thank you for being a great friend. And if I've ever had any questions or needed something, you've been one of the guys that I know I could text or reach out to. You've always been there, so I appreciate that.
Likewise, Burton. I appreciate it. Come down and supporting our bags on the Ohio. And Jay, it was nice finally getting to meet you as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, and hopefully I get down to the bags in Ohio. But I get to see you at at Worlds this year, so we actually get to meet in person too. So
good deal.
We got a good deal with that, and it's great having you on today. Thank you again.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, you got a good rest of your night.
You too. See you
guys.
guys.
Good evening, Charlie.
Bye.
Oh man, that was great.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He really is. He's
he
been
really
involved and done a lot for cornhole.
I
know a lot of people are going to miss his bags, but it sounds like he's set all those people up to be able to continue throwing the bag just with a different logo on it, different company logo on it.
Different company, yeah. That's amazing that you kind of set them up still to continue to do what they've been doing, throwing the bags they're comfortable with, just with a different logo. But it's a partnership, right? So that's amazing, man.
I think that shows a lot about who he is as a person. You know, he kept saying, I wanted to make sure the players were taken care of. That was his thing. I want to make sure that they are going to keep the same bags they've thrown for years, and they're going to be taken care of. And I want to say there's not a lot of people like that, but I actually feel like in cornhole there are a lot of people like that.
That's true. That's true. And I think that's why he's been successful, because his players first, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. He wasn't just thinking about just himself and his brand. He was thinking about the players first, and really caring about them and what they wanted and what they needed. So that's amazing. That's really amazing, man. So another great show, man.
Absolutely.
Another great show, man.
What you got coming up the next couple weeks?
Next couple of weeks, what I got going on?
Getting ready for the battle here soon, ain't you?
Well, I got the Border Wars.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, May 9th. Actually league play on Thursdays, Tuesday and Thursday league play. But yeah, the Border Wars, Team Illinois against Team Missouri. We all settled. Everything is ready. We'll be battling on May 9th at Cornhole Central on Peebly, Missouri. Shouts out to Tommy. We got that going on, man. We're gonna get the guys together, try to get a practice or two together. And also, I've been talking to Tommy too, Bert. We're thinking about for the next one, we're gonna try to extend it. So we're trying to.
You can let us play in your little game.
We're gonna let you guys play in a little game. So we're thinking about extending that so we get more people out to play, man, because it's something that we want to do. We just did it this time because we was trying to see how many players we can get and things like that, try it out. But since it's been such a success and a lot of people have been asking about it, we're gonna try to extend it. Also,
I'll tell my guys to stand down. They were putting a team together.
I know.
They're like, you know what, we're crashing this thing.
Come on through. But Tommy's going to be doing the Battle of the Clubs also this fall. So if you guys get a team together for that,
I'm sure we will have
fall.
one or two. It depends on how many I can't remember how many people are on a team. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think is it 16? Well, I know for the Battle of the Clubs, I think it may be less than that. So I had to look again. I think it's about 16 or something like that. I know for the Border Wars, it's 24
yeah, that's
for
why
us.
I
Yeah.
love our little tri-state area for cornhole. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
from Western Kentucky, Southeast Missouri, Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just a great area to play.
Yeah. Oh man,
Not
we got
saying
some.
anything bad about you guys in Louisville. I know how territorial you get about being the birthplace mecca of cornhole out there. You know,
We got love for Louisville basketball and cornhole. So
yeah,
most definitely, man.
absolutely.
Like I said, just got that going on in league play, and thinking about maybe going to Branson. And go down for that major.
That's always a good one. It's a good time
Always
to
a good
take
one,
extra
yeah.
time off to have a little family vacation too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been kind of thinking about going down to the Throwdown in Cali, Ventura. I've been thinking
Yeah, we
about that
talked about that.
also.
I've not been.
Yeah,
I'd like to go.
yeah. I would like to go. We might need to talk about that offline. We might
I'm
try
good
to
with
get
it.
down there. Yeah, try to get
I
to
got
that. But other than that, yeah. Other than that, what you got going on?
doing my weeklies, running some regionals, and here in 2 weeks, I was invited to go out and stream and commentate the
Nice.
ACL Open in Wisconsin. So it'll be my
Oh,
third time in
awesome.
Wisconsin for cornhole in
Awesome.
6 months. So I think I have to
Congrats.
pay. I think I got to start paying state taxes now.
Yeah, you live there now, man. You live there, and you do an amazing job. So,
So
hey,
I'm looking forward
yeah,
to that and commentating with Jordan Brannon and just seeing how that side operates
yeah,
and do things,
that's,
because
yeah,
everybody does things different outlooks, getting to talk to people. I mean, I know a lot of people from other ones,
yeah,
so looking forward
yeah.
to going up there. I'm sure. I'm assuming like my buddy Jay Rubin will go to that because he's just
Yeah.
playing everywhere he can play, and I think he's getting that fire, that passion, like we said, of
Coming back. It's
not
coming
being so
back.
serious, just love of the game
Yeah,
and just playing. And I
just
think
playing.
he's getting it.
And also, we got something going on June 20th. We're gonna be commentating a big bash on June 20th. You know about that? What's with the
Yeah,
Ballpark
the
Village?
Bags of Ballpark Village. Brian Jones,
Yeah, Brian
one
Jones.
of,
Yeah,
if not the best events I've ever been to. And I'm
yeah,
not saying,
yeah.
I'm
Same
talking
here.
like majors, professional events, major events. One of the best cornhole events I've ever
Yes,
been to. It's right there in
yes,
Ballpark Village. A lot of history in that area. And
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
any of his tournaments are great, but I feel like, between that and Newtown Throwdown,
Oh yeah, with Jerry.
that Jerry puts on
Yeah,
there on the
yeah.
western side of St.
Missouri.
Louis. What is it? It's
Yeah.
actually like St. Charles,
It's St. Charles area. Yeah, it's the St.
but
Charles area. Yeah, so he does great up there, man. But that's gonna be awesome. Be my first time not throwing at ballpark. I'll be actually on the mic with you, man. So that's gonna be fun.
great thing is we'll be in the shade.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, be in the shade, and I'll be able to drink water faster than I sweat it out.
Hey, because we be in the shade. Because man, those days right there in Ballpark Village where we throw at, man. The sun is right there.
Yeah, you see people picking up their chairs and moving it as the sun moves and the shadow moves. They're all moving their chair with it. So it's a great time though. If you guys ain't been to Bags Battle at Ballpark Village, it's the event's up on Facebook. Look it up.
Yeah,
I promise
look it
you,
up.
you'll have a great time.
Yeah, yeah. And I also just want to tell it, people out, in the Facebook world and all that stuff, man. If you guys want to be on, I know somebody they want to come on, send us a message on Facebook and just put it in the chat right here. We'll respond back to you to see. But we're gonna have some more guests coming up soon. We're looking to get back to going, like you said, basketball season over with. Now we can focus more on it now and get back to
Yeah.
smooth takes. And
Yeah. If you guys got guests you want to see, let us know. Questions you want asked to certain guests, or you want to wait till it's announced.
Yeah.
Hey, just let us know. We'll reach out. We'll get people from all over on.
That's
I
right.
know Jeremiah was supposed to be on and let his daughter have his phone and had the alarm and everything set, and then he ended up falling asleep on the couch, and so we have to reschedule him. And we actually have a pretty good list of people we want to get on here.
Oh yeah, most definitely does. So yeah, that's awesome. So
we may need to get the GOAT Brian Jones on here to talk about
Ballpark
Village.
I think that's a great idea. Let's do it.
Got to get him to sit still for a couple hours because he's either working on something cornhole or working his job. I don't think he sits still very often to really do anything. for himself, for lack of a better term, for
Right,
himself.
right.
He's always doing something for somebody, I feel like. So
Yeah. So
um,
yeah, that'd be a most definitely good guest to have on. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. But yeah, man, that's what I got, man. Man, this was a great interview, man. I'm looking forward to what we got going on in the future, man. So other than that, man, that's all I got.
hey, if you guys joined late, go back to the beginning, listen to this new intro. Let us know what you think. I like it.
Oh,
I mean,
guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna end with it.
oh, here we go. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, this is
Good.
Jay Smooth, and that is
Burton Grimes.
And this is another episode of Smooth Takes Podcast.
You guys have a good
Peace.
evening. See you down the road.
See you down the road.
Jay Smooth in the booth, Burton in the cut. Boy set up bright like we going up. Bags in the air, hear the crowd go nuts. Every toss, every clutch, we breaking it all up. From backyard games to the bright main stage, we talk legends, upstarts, every rank, every age. From that perfect slide to a roll so mean, we got champs, dark horses, whole pit on screen. Line them up, 4 bags, 1 shot, hit the hole, hit the block, fill the room, go hide. Every guest drop gems when the mics get live. We dig deep on the dream and the grind inside. It's smooth take, big plays, big stakes from the tailgate, chalk to the pro lane breaks. Every drop, every block, every call.